Deham Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitanscha Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Then Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Parayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tuje Namaha. Bancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Govinda Govinda. And already in the chat box, from Ganga Leela, a chat of emojis. I don't know, I forget, emojis. Anyhow, with hands together, with flowers, the world, and a bee taking nectar from the world. Actually, planet Earth, we know from the satellites, etc., that they take photographs around the universe. And planet Earth looks very beautiful and attractive. All that blue, all the color. So, if we were a bee floating in the ether, not in the air, because there is no air there, only ether. If we were a bee in the ether, an ether bee, and we were buzzing around the universe, if we saw planet Earth, we probably want to come and see what nectar is there. And here we have a bee approaching planet Earth. And what nectar is there on planet Earth? The nectar of the guidance and connection of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to take us to Goloka Vrindavan. Hare Krishna. And I see some bees are with us. Each of you is a bee, knowingly or unknowingly, come to planet Earth to find the nectar which is here. And you could be, when we don't know about anybody, but you could be a bee from the heavenly planets. It's also true. Those who are living in the heavenly planets, who live for hundreds of thousands or millions of years, in some cases, those who live there, who are wise, they know the treasure, what that is on planet Earth, especially this time, after Mahaprabhu's appearance in Kali Yuga. So we have bees. Oh no, Seva Rupa Devinasi. I don't know how you do all these tricks. Yeah, you're going to have to. One of you young ones is going to have to teach us old ones how to do it. All right. So from all parts of the world, from the far side, means Abhinava Sundar Prabhu and Kelly Kadamba, all the way there in Australia, to right beside me from Australia, Rupanuga Prabhu, and just behind, but through two walls, so he can't hear us, is Leela Moy Prabhu, and he's hosting us, looking after us. and he may be joined by others. There was an open invitation to come and join the back to basics. So let's see if others join us. Any more bees come to the back? Oh, any more bees for the back to basics? Okay, we won't add more bees inside. Yes, Narottam Nitai Prabhu, welcome. And I see you have a chat in the chat box. Let us see. Oh, Dandavas Maharaj, and to everyone. Yes, beautiful, for everyone indeed. All right, so give me one moment. Okay, I'm back. And if you like, we can. Oh, one moment more. Okay, I just got a blessing from Rupanuga Prabhu. He knows what the moment was for. Okay, so Rupanuga, we'll start with Rupanuga Prabhu because we've got him right here, and he's got something in his pocket, if you have a big pocket, because he has a big pocket size book with him. The publication of Sri Guru and His Grace, you can show the size of it. This is, I think, published from America, but quite almost pocket size. And probably the most recent printing of Sri Guru and His Grace. And so Rupanuga has something in his pocket selected to share with us. So let us hear, I don't know what he's got, but let us hear what he has to share.
Yes, I found this book in the library. I purchased it because it was the only English book in the library with the books for sale. But there was something in here which was a revelation for me, and not for you senior devotees, I'm sure. But when we start off and get involved with Krishna consciousness, there's so many questions. And I guess where these Zooms come in so useful because we can ask the questions. But I've always had the nagging sort of question, who is Nityananda and why is Nityananda? It seems to be as important almost as Krishna. And I pick up this book and I'm reading away, and I'd like to share this because to share my ignorance perhaps, but it's a reminder. And in fact, I found it cute in a way as well. Nityananda Prabhu went to Bengal, but without trying to preach the glories of the holy name of Krishna, Nityananda began to preach the name of Gauranga. Nityananda Prabhu found that there is some danger of thinking that Krishna's pastimes are very much akin to the mundane debauchery, lying and stealing of a degraded soul. Krishna's pastimes are of a highly confidential nature. It is very difficult for the masses to understand the purity of Krishna Lila. The mass mind cannot accept Krishna Lila as the highest attainment. So Nityananda Prabhu found it would be very difficult to preach Krishna Lila, but he found it would be easy to preach Gaura Lila, where Krishna has come to distribute himself to the public with so much capital in his mind. Gauranga means the dynamo which wants to distribute Krishna, so charged with the most magnanimous. It's very early in the morning here. It's 4 a.m. I could normally say it, but anyway, you know what I meant. Intensified.
Magnanimous.
Intensified pity and kindness for the ordinary people, with the greatest affection even for the criminals. Nityananda Prabhu wanted to bring them in connection with Gauranga, for then Krishna Lila would automatically be within their fist. So he began to preach about Gauranga, not Radha Krishna, as commanded by Mahaprabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu says, Bhaja Gauranga Kaha, Gauranga Ayaha, Gauranga Nama. Worship Gauranga, speak only of Gauranga, and chant the name of Gauranga. And I could read on, but at this point, so who is Gauranga then? I'm still a little bit ignorant in that area. That's my question to you.
Okay, who is Gauranga? Now, there's a good question for Abhinavasundara Prabhu, because Abhinavasundara speaks the same language. You'll understand.
Okay.
You'll understand his edition of
Speaks
English.
Australian.
He speaks Australian. So here's a good question. Oh, good. Jai Gauranga Prabhu from Australia there too. He just spinning around in his chair and showing us he exists. So he will also understand if Abhinavasundara answers. It's a good question. It's nice to be asked. Who is Gauranga?
Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat, all the devotees. Oh, now we have Paramananda. Here, we should ask Paramananda that question. He always speaks so nicely.
He doesn't speak Australian.
So Gauranga is the Golden Lord, who is not only the representation of Radha and Krishna, but the supreme distributor of that divine substance, Krishna Prem. That's what is the highest taste. Maharaj was talking about bees, and the bees are searching for the nectar. So what is that nectar? That nectar is Krishna Prema, which is the most intense, loving exchange that we can have with divinity. So Mahaprabhu is the combination of Radha and Krishna in one form. So you see on the altar there in Villa Govinda, you have Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Gopinath Shu. Have I got that right? So then, as you're looking at the deities, or as the deities are looking at you, Gauranga is on the right-hand side.
Or
And then, but as you're looking at the deities, then Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Mahaprabhu is on the left-hand side. And Radha and Krishna are there on the right-hand side. And Gauranga Mahaprabhu is the combination of Radha and Krishna. And this is that particular way that the deities are represented is a particular and intentional representation of divinity that our Guru Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, is his Guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who established Gaudiya Vaishnavism in India back in the 1800s. This was his representation of divinity, that you would have Radha, Krishna, and Mahaprabhu on the altar at the same time, because of the importance that Gauranga Mahaprabhu plays in this age, not only to identify that he is the combination of Radha and Krishna, but also that he is distributing that Krishna Prema, which is that love which can only be understood by understanding the relationship between Radha and Krishna, and only through our gurus. And so Mahaprabhu is coming as that teacher to show what it means to actually be aspiring for the connection with that plane of consciousness and with that substance. So that is Mahaprabhu in a brief nutshell. So,
and then Nityananda.
And so Nityananda is Mahaprabhu's associate. And you want to say something, please?
Oh, well, not that I want, but
No,
I'm just
you
saying just in relation to what you were reading, because you came from reading about Nityananda Prabhu, and that verse then, like he was saying, Mahaprabhu asked him to go and preach, tell everybody to chant the name of Krishna, but he didn't do that. He went and he told everyone, chant the name of Gauranga, speak about Gauranga, talk about Gauranga, because it's actually a really important part of our whole conception in our practicing life that's given by our gurus, that we're actually, like you were just saying, Mahaprabhu he's distributing, he's the way that we actually gain entrance into the service plane of Krishna and Srimati Radharani. It's through Mahaprabhu. So all of our worship, all of our focus is through Mahaprabhu and worshipping him. But it's Nityananda Prabhu that's shining the spotlight on that, saying not to go directly to try and jump into the pastimes of Krishna and Srimati Radharani, but actually to serve, to go through Mahaprabhu. So that's why and Nityananda is actually the one that gives us connection with Mahaprabhu. And there's some really beautiful pastimes that you can read about there, like Raghunath Das Goswami, and how he actually he became one of the most intimate servitors of Mahaprabhu. But how he actually received that grace, that service, was actually because he got the grace of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda placed him basically at the feet of Mahaprabhu. And it's the understanding of our gurus that Nityananda is actually the supreme guru. So we actually are worshipping Nityananda, we're worshipping Guru as an expression of a manifestation of the grace of Nityananda Prabhu.
And so by worshipping Nityananda Prabhu, then we get the connection of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And through the connection of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, then we can be connected with these deeper pastimes of Radha and Krishna. But it's also not that we're just using Nityananda and Mahaprabhu to get to the goal of Radha and Krishna. Mahaprabhu is Radha and Krishna combined, and the pastimes of Mahaprabhu are much more subtle and much more intense, because he's presenting what it means to be in separation from the Lord, you know, and that separation is what draws us closer, because, you know, that positive, negative attraction thing can become more intense, you know, as the more we realize how separated we are, then the more intense our prayer can become, and our need. Anyway, I've kind of lost my...
Yeah, we're going on and on here, but... Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, maybe Paramananda can add something to that, because we always love to hear from Paramananda.
Still muted.
No, we're here.
Thank you for the clarity. I'm embarrassed to think that when I was first getting involved in Krishna consciousness, I said to a fellow devotee, I am more drawn to Mahaprabhu than Krishna himself. And I was very embarrassed. I wanted to read everything about Mahaprabhu. And the answer from this experienced devotee was, yeah, that's quite okay. But now I understand more, because I'm more interested, as I said, in the teachings of Mahaprabhu. So that sort of makes all sense to me. Thank you.
And although we only have one English book in the Italian bookshelf, as you discovered, and you purchased it, so now we have none, then there is another English book called The Nectarian Glories of Nityananda Prabhu. And that is Srila Gurudev book of excerpts compiled of his descriptions of Nityananda Prabhu. So there is a book about Nityananda, as there is a book about Gauranga, and about Gauranga. It's the golden volcano of divine love. But actually every book, more or less, is going to, we hope, yes, we think in every book, you'll find something of Nityananda, of Gauranga, and of Radha Krishna. And by the way, sometimes devotees say, oh, it's only when we came to Guru Maharaj or to Chaitanya Saraswat Mat that we became more conscious of Gauranga. But actually, my early days in ISKCON we had the deities in the temple. Oh, yes, were the Panchatattva. The Panchatattva, large deities of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Garadha, Srivas, then Adi, Gaura, Bhaktivinoda, heading all the devotees. So right at the beginning, we did have some good introduction in a way to the Panchatattva. And I know sometimes that devotees chant the Panchatattva mantra and really just chant it as a mantra rather than understanding its two personalities. The personalities, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Advaita Acharya, Garadha, Garadha Pandit, and Srivas, Srivas Thakur, Srivas Adi, heading, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Gauranga's devotee section, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. And you invited our dear Paramananda to say a few words, and in the text box, Sevarupa's been busy. Let's come to Paramananda Prabhu, and you can see the text box too, Paramananda, if you like to refer to that. Paramananda Prabhu, Dandabat, Krishna Priya Devirasi, Dandabat, Ram Sundar Prabhu, Dandabat, all the living entities around and about.
We have a special guest here, Maharaj.
You do? Okay.
Oh,
Her name is Abby.
Her name is Abby. Abby? Her name is Abby.
She is the fortunate mother of Ram Sundar, or maybe it's Ram Sundar who is the fortunate son.
Oh, okay. Well, very happy to meet you. So you've come to see what's taking place.
yeah.
So our first question is to her. So what is taking place? What are you seeing? She's here for 2 days already.
I just am seeing this beautiful place that my son lives on and loves.
Okay.
Any changes? She haven't seen her son for 2 years, right? 3 years.
Yeah.
So anything you observe, any positive happened to your son?
Yeah, he's calm, he's happy, he drives better.
that's a
He works
major one.
hard. Yeah. He's a good
So-
cook. Well, I knew that actually.
So Abby, you remind me of my dear mother who has passed away by now, but she came to India when she was 80 years old because I was not going back to England.
Right.
And because of Seva connection, it wasn't that we didn't appreciate our parents, but not leaving the Seva for our Gurudev there. And so she came to India when she was 80, and quite a young 80 to be fair. But she came, and after she came and she met the devotees, saw what we're doing, everything, her idea completely changed, and she was very appreciative of what we were doing, of our masters, the teachings, and so that was a big change for our relationship, that she was a bit cautious about, my son's in India in some temple on the banks of the Ganges. But when she saw that the temple was so beautiful, that the devotees and our masters were also beautiful, and that we're doing something good in the principles of life, then really it was a big change. So you remind me of my mom coming to see your son because he's not coming home so often.
Right. Yeah.
And where everyone's happy with him, so he's a good representative of you. And I think every parent wants their children to be good. So you can be, don't tell him, but you can be gently proud of him.
I won't tell him. Thank you.
Okay.
So now
well,
let's look at the son, Maharaj.
What's the thing?
Mahaprabhu.
Who is Mahaprabhu? 3 words were the questions of Rupanuga Prabhu.
Well, what comes to mind, I can kind of continue off basically what Abhinava was saying, but Srila Gurudev's favorite verse from Prema Dhamma Deva Stotram was verse 66, as I've heard him say, and maybe Revealed Truth. But it goes, Atma Siddha Savali Lopurna Sokya Lakshamam, Swanubhava Matanrita Kirtanatma Mantanam, Advayakya Lakshapurna Tapa Tap Paraparam, Premadama Devam Evam Nami Gaura Sundaram. And Srila Guru Maharaj is saying that Mahaprabhu is the ultimate dynamo. That Mahaprabhu is coming, and he's filled with so much Krishna prem, and he's always chanting, and dancing all the time. And his chanting is showing how much relish he has for Krishna prem. His dancing is an expression of how much relish he has for Krishna prem, and then his chanting is the distribution to everyone of that relish. And that, like, this is the Guru Maharaj says it, I do not know the exact words yet, but this is the ultimate and most intense dynamic form of reality. This is the expression of reality, basically. That Mahaprabhu dancing and feeling so much of his own internal, potency, and then he has to distribute that to everyone else. And that his dancing is causing him to chant more, and then his chanting is causing him to dance more. So it's like once he starts, it can't stop. And so that distribution must go on, eternally. So that's basically who Mahaprabhu is.
That's not a verse. Ananda Lila Maya Vigrahaya. Tasmai Mahaprima Rasapuraya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Kind of mirroring Guru Maharaj's composition, this verse from Prabodhananda Saraswati. That was a beautiful answer, Maharaj.
Yes.
By everyone, actually. Abhinava Sundar Kelly. Asking me about Mahaprabhu is like asking a frog in a well to describe an ocean.
Oh dear.
I can only repeat the verses from different illustrious acharyas in our line. Yajayava padam bhuja bhakti labdha primabti dana paramam kumartha tasmai jagan mangala mangalaya chaitanya chandraya namo namaste. That's another verse that's mirroring Guru Maharaj's composition. But the most beautiful verse that kind of resonates in my heart is one of the beginning verses of Brihad Bhagavatamrita by Srila Sanatana Goswami, where he is describing the inner purpose of Krishna appearing as Mahaprabhu. And he is saying, Swadaita Nija Bhava Yogi Bhava Svabhava, to experience what is his highest and dearmost devotee is experiencing in a moment of intense separation. Sumadhura Avatirna Bhakta Rupena Lopa. Krishna takes the most sweet and the most amazing, most beautiful form of reality, the beautiful, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jayati Kanakadhama Krishna Chaitanya Nama. He becomes known as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Hari Hayati Vesha, Sri Sachisuna Esha. And he will be wearing the robes of sannyasi, and he will be known as son of Mother Shachi. So really, it's a very short verse, but everything is in there. So why Krishna appeared as Mahaprabhu, and why Mahaprabhu is so wonderful, that it outshines practically every other form of the Lord. Even in Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, Guru Maharaj said that he had so much attraction. He had more attraction for Mahaprabhu than for Krishna. And then because of Mahaprabhu, I developed some attraction for Krishna. After hearing his teachings, after observing his pastimes, hearing his glories, I developed some attraction for Krishna. But my heart is always with Mahaprabhu. And we hear it continuously from so many different sources. There's another one. Yattat Vadantu Sastrani, Yattat Vyakyanta Tarkika. Chaitanya, I forgot the last two verses, 2 lines. But anyway, Prabhupada Saraswati is saying that Vedas can say whatever, they can point in whatever direction they want to. The commentators, the great acharyas, they can say their opinion. But for me, everything is very clear. My heart is completely sold to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is his statement. So not only Srila Guru Maharaj, but it is very consistently seen in our Guru Varga, but it is hidden. It's not easy to spot. It's not easy to see. And like Madhusudan Maharaj just mentioned that, like in the beginning, when we joined ISKCON, we would see the deities. In our case, it was Gauranga and Nityananda, Gaur Nitai deities. But somehow, we did not know the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We always talked about Krishna, we read Krishna book, we read Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, but in any case, Chaitanya Charitamrita wasn't published in Russian at that time. But there was always some attraction just by seeing, and even those pictures, they had nothing to do with reality. Still, we felt some attraction. We wanted to know who Mahaprabhu is and why he's on the altar, why we're not worshiping Krishna directly, but we're worshiping Nityananda and Mahaprabhu. But we did not get any answers. Until this day, just recently, my friend, after coming in touch, he's been in a different society for many years, maybe 30 years. And recently he came in touch with Guru Maharaj's teachings, and he said everything changed in his world. Mahaprabhu became the prominent personality, the object of his worship. And it wasn't the case before that. So again, it is by the grace of very exclusive devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that they can reveal to us who Mahaprabhu is. But that will depend on our capacity to understand that. In fact, it's impossible to understand. And no matter what we're going to say about Mahaprabhu, it will fall short of his proper glories. So I can only repeat what other acharyas are saying, Maharaj. So I have no realization. But somehow, by the grace of Srila Govinda Maharaj, I developed attraction to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Really, this is my favorite book. And I can read it continuously, and then read it again, read it again, read it again. And we talk about it a lot. And it's not just some kind of a fairy tale or propaganda. It's our personal realization that it's always new, always fresh. And every time we read it again, more understanding coming, more realizations are coming. And it's never ending. It will never end. So that's Mahaprabhu. So we can glorify Mahaprabhu forever, and it's not going to do a proper justice to the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's how wonderful he is. But what I like is also that Srila Govinda Maharaj once mentioned that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the personification of the glories of the Lord's devotee. He personifies that. The only reason for his appearance was to experience that intense emotions, intense bhava in the heart of his topmost devotee. And by doing that, he puts a devotee higher than him. So he is the epitome of that. So he is the ultimate glorification of the Lord's devotee. And that was Srila Govinda Maharaj's explanation of that. And that makes him even more sweeter and more wonderful and uncomparable to any other avatars or incarnations of the Lord. And we're so fortunate. And we can keep going, but we can say that there's different yugas, there's different Mahaprabhus. But this yuga, we have the Mahaprabhu, who is giving everything for free, regardless of our qualification, qualified, not qualified, everybody is getting it. The fortunate ones are drowning, and that's Vrindavan Das Thakur. The fortunate ones are drowning in the ocean of prema, and the less fortunate are swimming, but everybody is touched by that. So everyone is affected. But some exclusive devotees, again, they're saying, Vanchitosmi, Vanchitosmi, Vanchitosmi na samshayam. Vishwa Gora, Rasa Prano, Sparshi Pimamanabhavat. Everybody have drowned in that ocean brought by Mahaprabhu, the ocean of prema, the ocean of bliss. And I haven't got a single drop on my head. And I'm feeling cheated, I'm feeling cheated, and I'm feeling cheated. Some exclusive devotees would express something like that.
And following in the footsteps of the Vaishnavas who are following in the footsteps of the great Vaishnavas, as Paramanand is quoting from great Vaishnavas. I'll also make a little quote, and that is referred to by Srila Gurudev, referred to by Srila Guru Maharaj repeatedly about Mahaprabhu. In the songbook and by Vasudev Ghosh is that song Jadi Gorana Hoto, Tobeki Hoito, Kemone Dharitam De, Radhara Mahima, Prema Rasa Sima, Jagate Janata Ke. If Lord Gauranga had not come, then what would have become of us? How could we have maintained our lives? If he had not come, then how could we know of the glories of Sri Radha and the topmost limit of ecstatic love of Krishna? And then step by step, I can read the rest too. Who would have had the capacity to render ecstatic devotional service, following the mood of the damsels of Braja? Indeed, the clever expertise of the Braja Gopis is essential for entering the supremely sweet forest of Brinda, Sri Vrindavan. Then Gao Punna Punna, Gaurangera Guna, Sarala Karya Mana, E Bhava Sagare, Emana Doyala, Na Dekhiye Ekajana. And all these words, this is very sweet Bengali, all these words are familiar to the readers, regular readers of Chaitanya Charitamrita, etc. Gao Punna Punna Gaurangera Guna. Sing again and again the wonderful qualities of Lord Gauranga. Sarala Kariyamana, while keeping your heart simple. E Bhava Sagare, in the ocean of this material world. Emana Doyala, such a merciful. Na Dekhiye Ekajana, not a single person has ever seen such a magnanimous and merciful Lord. And the last verse, Gauranga, Bolia, Nagenu, Golia, Kemone, Gorinu De, Vasurihiya, Pashanadiya, Kemona Goriache. Even though I am chanting Gauranga, somehow I have not melted in ecstatic love, as Paramanand just pointed out. The great devotees, they say that whatever they have, oh, it's not everything, it's not everything. So this is their humility in their chanting. So even though I am chanting Gauranga, somehow I have not melted in ecstatic love. So how have I maintained the burden of this body? How is it that the Creator has given this Vasu, a stone in place of his heart? And Vasu is the author, Sri Vasudev Ghosh. There we have some high description of Gauranga, Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And who is with us? We have Manindra Mohan Prabhu, because we've woken him up. The ashram is full and he's sleeping on the veranda, very humbly. One of the pillars of the ashram, sleeping on the floor of the veranda. I hope tolerating us, tolerating me, right next door here in Srila Gurudev's room. So we've woken up a giant of devotional service. So we'll give him a few moments to understand that we're answering the question of Rupa Nuga Prabhu is, who is Gauranga? And actually, this is one of the reasons why and we heard this from Guru Maharaj, that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, why did he establish as a standard the altar with Gauranga, Krishna and Radharani, Radha, Krishna and Gauranga? And he established this for preaching, and maybe other things, but Guru Maharaj said for preaching purpose, then having Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna together on the altar naturally draws the question from the public, who is Gauranga? Or who is on the left, if you're our left? But actually, left and right when talking about the deity is measured from the Lord's left and right, as we understand when we read Kiva, when we sing Kiva Jaya Jaya Gora Chande, Dakine Nitai Chand. There we understand that on Mahaprabhu's right, on the right, is Nityananda, Nitai and Gauranga. Means from the deity's aspect, always the left and right are given. So on the altar, as we look on the left, there is Gauranga and Radha and Krishna. So this question does come up, who's that on the left? Because we think we are the subject, so we think we are looking to the left. So the question will come, who is Gauranga? And then this gives this opportunity to discuss the qualities of Gauranga. And as we said just now, in that verse, that Gao Punna Punna Gaurangera Guna, sing again and again the qualities of Gauranga. Hare Krishna. And without Gauranga, we do not have entrance into Radha Krishna Leela. We can talk about it, we can hear about it, we can read about it, but to get entrance without Gauranga is not possible. This is given everywhere, and may be possible for a soul who for many, many lifetimes tries very hard and sincerely. But we can also say, if they're trying hard and sincerely, then surely Krishna will see their sincerity and save them so much difficulty in their attempt, and that is bring them to Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, Mahaprabhu's current of mercy, which is here in the world, alive and well, and here in the world. And always it's a hidden matter to find the treasure. The gold bars just don't sit on the side of the mountain. They're hidden in the mountain and have to be mined. But the golden Lord is roaming around the mountain, especially Govardhan, Gupta Govardhan. And that golden Lord, 2.4 meters tall, golden Lord, roaming around, distributing entrance tickets to Radha Krishna Leela through the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna. And here's Munindra Mohan Prabhu. He now knows what we're talking about. And he knows that to join back to basics, we have to have something in our pocket. Actually, to join any Zoom, whenever any Zoom, we always say, come with something in your pocket. So please come close, because the microphone's here. We don't have a separate microphone. Here's Munindra Mohan Prabhu. All of you know him. He needs no introduction.
Dandavat all the devotee. We have to be careful what we tell in these Bhakta bases, because Bhakta bases, all the devotee have at least 25 years experience of Krishna consciousness. So what is the theme? Who is Mahaprabhu? No, was not the theme, was just a question of Rupananga.
Well, it's become the theme. Who is Gauranga?
Who
Yes.
is Gauranga?
Yeah. So Gauranga is Mahaprabhu. That's one. Yeah.
You all know who is Gauranga. The problem is that the world doesn't know yet. I mean, really few people comparing to the, I don't know, 9 billion of jiva that incarnate in the human form in this contemporary age. And it's our duty to to expand the glory and the information to who is Mahaprabhu, because it's very fundamental for the jiva in this age contemporary, because God is always there, but he manifests in this amazing form only in Kali Yuga, and in specific Kali Yuga, he himself descended as Swayam Bhagavan, tasting his own sweetness with the heart and halo of Srimati Radharani. But nobody knows that. How is possible? Because the age of Kali is very covered by ignorance, and the mind of people is very deviated from so many useless information. And the main thing that our Supreme Lord came to test himself, to distribute the love to himself and save all the Jiva souls, is unknown by the people. So that's amazing. Sankirtan movement is also meant to amplify the message of Mahaprabhu through collective singing and chanting and dancing to the holy names of Krishna. And this is our duty, our seva. And beside our own practice in life, we have also to preach realization as much as possible, and distribution, share with others. And that's the main thing with the message of our gurus. And it's so wonderful that it should not be difficult to talk with people about that, really. How mystical is that Krishna is searching for himself with the mood of the devotee, with the heart of Srimati Radharani, and the luster, the halo also of Srimati Radharani. That means expansion, radiation, distribution. So Mahaprabhu is amazing, and we are permeating with the nihilism. Nietzsche inaugurated and many other thinkers. They claim that in our modern age, God is dead.
Hare Krishna.
Is dead in the consciousness.
Hare Krishna.
People. But also Nietzsche himself said, I would believe in a dancing God. So it's true, somehow it's true that the Narayan conception, Vishnu conception is in the consciousness of people is faded, disappear almost. But a dancing God, everyone can embrace. Even Nietzsche, who is the propagator of the nihilism. And so really, Mahaprabhu is the God of this age, and on our altar is there. And before 16th century, only Krishna was on the altar. Then appear Srimati Radharani as Mahabhava form beside him, personified. And then appear Mahaprabhu. And so now we have three personalities. And the beautiful Arati composed by Srila Guru Maharaj explain the beauty of this kind of worshipping, specific of our mission, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, way to conceive the divinity in Kali Yuga. So sometimes we have to look at the translation of this Shri Saraswati Arati, because explain how is dynamic our altar, how is the personality on the altar interacting with themselves, and God expand in three form like this, amazing. So we are all in this track, we are all in this dancing group, and our life is actually beautiful. And yesterday we talked a lot about Goptritvavana. is the basis of theism, actually. So we have to rely, we have to trust the message of Mahaprabhu. And if we think personality like Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, etc., they embrace this conception. Why we should not take in serious consideration that this conception is something very valuable? Then you come to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Maharaj, Govinda Maharaj, etc. If this kind of caliber of people embrace this conception fully, must be something, and who are us to doubt it? We have to consider that and proceed happily. Jai Gurudev, Jai Bhakta Basis, and Madhusudhan Maharaj, the promoter of this beautiful Bhakta Basis.
I am only serving the devotees who ask. Back the basics.
And we are being carried along in the wake of your devotional activities, Munindra Prabhu.
What devotional activity?
We've seen you, don't worry. We've watched you.
I'm just carried away by the wave of the devotee. I just imitating them, doing what they do, try to be one of them.
You think you're hiding away in a little village in Italy.
What happened to you guys? You've been thrown in the Aussie land again.
Yeah.
Oh,
The creek run out.
We're drowning here. Try to get back into the wake of your ship moving forward.
I think Krishna want to test your determination.
Yeah.
Second attempt of Italy.
But actually, Kanama wanted to say something before about Mahaprabhu, didn't you?
Oh, I don't know.
No, she's forgotten.
I'm not sure.
See?
But the thing I was thinking, like Maharaj was just saying, like, if Mahaprabhu had not come, how would we know of these glories? And also, like, it's so incredibly, it's inconceivable, the mercy and the affection of Mahaprabhu, that he's actually distributing such intimate knowledge of his innermost heart, the highest aspect of existence, like his innermost heart. He's actually distributing that. Like we have the Chaitanya Charitamrita, all these pastimes, and so many revelations of his mood, of it's inconceivable that we actually can hear about these things, right? Like Krishna, he's actually enjoying in Vrindavan. He's for himself enjoying, but Mahaprabhu is actually saying here, like, this is my innermost heart, and giving it freely. Like for me, I find it absolutely overwhelming that we can hear about these things, what to speak of come under the shelter of gurus that are actually carrying us towards their lotus feet. I mean, it's inconceivable. And that's the glory of Mahaprabhu.
And one thing that when Paramananda was talking about Guru Maharaj, and how Guru Maharaj previously had some affection or attention to Ramachandra, then you see that the whole of India knows Lord Ramachandra, and everyone loves Lord Ramachandra because he's so dignified and appropriate and regal and all these things. And Radha and Krishna, if people not necessarily so, definitely not understanding who Radha and Krishna are and what is happening, and or misconstruing it and taking it into a sahaja direction. But only through the grace of personalities, like Munindra was saying, of Guru Maharaj, who can actually present who is Mahaprabhu, like, and also as Madhusudana Maharaj, you're quoting that song Jadi Gora Nahoto, that without Mahaprabhu, how would we know? But then without our Guru Varga, how would we know about Mahaprabhu to then know about Radha Krishna? Really, it's by their grace that they're revealing who is Gauranga Mahaprabhu.
And there are many, is our microphone on? Yes. There are many more songs in the songbook, and Srila Gurudev said about the songbook too, everything is in the songbook, as he has said about various things. And so also in the songbook there is this Ki Jabe Bhai, Bhava Sindhu Para, this kirtan, which is giving us a generosity that Mahaprabhu, it's as though he's standing at the jetty, the pier where the boats go. We were doing Harinam Sankirtan in Lekko, and we see where the boats go on Lake Como. But he's standing at the jetty like that to say, come on board this boat. I'll take you across all this material suffering, everything, take you to the other side, and not just the other side, take you to the highest place. Just come on board. Just have a little faith. And you have to have a little faith to get on the boat. What? Free ticket? Is this real? We're going to be leaving. We're going to be sailing away. We have to have a little bit of faith in the captain of the boat. Just like you get, oh, here's a free ticket for an aeroplane. And you've got to have a little bit of faith that the pilot knows where he's going. But this pilot, or this captain of the boat, this is Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and he's taking us to the highest quarter for just to have that faith to get on the boat. To get on the boat means chant Hare Krishna, put Krishna at the center, put Gauranga himself at the center. Nityananda will say, chant the glories of Gauranga. There you are safe. But to chant the glories of Gauranga, we need to know a little bit about him, and hence this question, who is Gauranga? And in that aspect that Gauranga is the most perfect, most perfect, most perfect, the extremely most perfect example of the devotee of the Lord. And so he is showing what it is to be a devotee, as well as the devotee's magnanimous nature to be pained at the suffering of others, and therefore do the most magnanimous thing, which is to give them relief from the cause of their suffering. Come home, you're wandering in a foreign land of fictitious gain. So come to the real land of love, beauty, sweetness, and charm. Come to the land of devotion. And devotion begins and goes all the way through with the chanting the holy names of the Lord, especially in Kali Yuga. And in the chat box, Paramananda, oh, more chats are flowing in. Ooh, long chats. And earlier, I see Sevarupatiri very efficiently has put some quotes first about the bees that we started with when we saw the bee coming to looking like it's coming to look at the earth, the planet Earth, and then the bee beside it. So some quote there, very beautiful quote, and then quoting about the quality of Nityananda Prabhu. Some extreme quality of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda is coming to give us Mahaprabhu, and Nityananda he's the perfect devotee, but he may not appear like the perfect devotee. So in that sense, he's guiding us to Mahaprabhu, who does appear and was very conscious to appear as the perfect devotee, so that people would not be encouraged or wouldn't misunderstand and use himself as an example to do wrong. So he was a perfect devotee. So now in the chat box, Paramananda Prabhu has put a quote. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Chaitanya Chandra, moving his hands and feet here and there, raising the two golden rods of his arms, and trembling as he dances, he loudly calls out, Hari, Hari, in the madness of ecstatic bliss, vanquishing all inauspiciousness in the universe. In this way, that lotus-eyed Lord, the crest jewel of all incarnations, immerses himself in tasting the sweet nectar of unparalleled, pure love for Krishna. And then continuing that quote, perhaps, for those who have attained the merciful sidelong glance of Lord Chaitanya, impersonal liberation becomes as palatable as going to hell. Okay, for those who have attained the merciful sidelong glance of Lord Chaitanya, for them, impersonal liberation becomes as palatable as going to hell. The heavenly cities of the demigods become as enticing as flowers imagined to be floating in the sky. The poisonous fangs of the untamable black snakes of the senses are broken. The whole world becomes full of joy, and Brahma, Indra, and all the other great demigods become as insignificant as tiny insects. Let us glorify that golden complexioned Lord Chaitanya.
These are Prabodhananda Saraswati.
I was guessing that was so.
Why am I putting it there? Because Guru Maharaj quotes lines. I haven't heard him quoting obviously he knew the verses, but he would takes the lines out of these two verses and quote them. And you can actually find them in Guru Maharaj's recordings and even printed versions of recordings. And Sanskrit is very beautiful. It's a long verse, but it's a beautiful, in Sanskrit, it's a beautiful translation.
Would you like to read the Sanskrit?
I try to share it with everybody. When I paste it, it just disfigures the transliteration. But I mean, I can just chant it, but otherwise.
Yes.
The first one is Uchai Asalayantam Karacharanam Aho Hemadanda Prakanda Bahu Pradritya Tattandavataralakanum Pundarikaya Taksha Vishwasya Mangalagnam Him Hari Haritun Madanandanada Vande Tam Deva Chudamanim Atula Rasavista Chaitanya Chantam. And the second one, Kaivalya Narakayate Tridasa Pura Akasha Pushpayate. That's what he's saying. Tridasa Pura Akasha Pushpayate. The heavens are just like the imaginable flowers floating in the air. Durda Tindriya Kalasar Papatali Pradhatadam Strayate. Vishwa Purnam Sukhayate. And Guru Maharaj quotes this actually quite often. Vishwa Purnam Sukhayate. The whole universe is filled with joy. Vinhi Mahindra Chakitayate Yat Karunya Kataksha Vaibhavatam Tam Gore Evastuma. This is the second verse. Just by the sidelong glance of Mahaprabhu, one loses all the taste for anything else but Krishna Prema. And then something else I remember when Gurudev was explaining that, what I just already mentioned. He said that Krishna, actually, he said, he cannot give Krishna Prema. Maybe again, but he's not giving it. But who can give Krishna Prema is the one who possesses Krishna Prema to the highest degree. And that's what makes Mahaprabhu unique, because we know who he is. He is Krishna himself, but with the heart and halo of his dearmost devotee. And in that kind of form, he is freely giving what cannot be attained by any means, and not given by Krishna himself too. It is mentioned not easily given, but Gurudev said, Krishna is not giving, but devotee is giving. And that's Maharaj already mentioned, that the magnanimity of Mahaprabhu's form is in that He possesses the heart of the devotee, and the heart of the devotee that filled with intense feelings for Krishna, intense feeling of love and separation, everything together. We cannot even describe. I don't have words enough to describe that. So it is infinite. Just wanted to share. And that verse, the first one, describing Mahaprabhu dancing, when Munindra Mahaprabhu was saying that, you know, I will believe in God if he is a good dancer. And here, one of the many verses describing Mahaprabhu's dance, and beautiful dance, Unmadanandanado. So the translation actually doesn't do much justice to the actual Sanskrit, because you can just expand the meaning of that. In complete transcendental divine madness, he is jumping up and down. So the earth shakes, the universe shakes. Anyhow, just some inspiration came from Munindra Mohan.
And here we have some new persons in the temple. And so in the evening we were reading the beginning of Search for Sri Krishna, Reality the Beautiful. And there, then Srila Guru Maharaj is a little bit on fire, you know. She's saying about, you know, the scientists, scientific development, all these things, progress in the wrong direction. And then he's saying that you are avoiding the greatest inevitable danger, the one of birth and death, the one that this matters. He'd been discussing this. So you, the scientist, the world of material progress, you are avoiding the greatest inevitable danger. So your life is a useless malengagement. In one sense, you are traitors to society. Come with courage to face and solve the real problem, the common problem, and the most dangerous problem. Otherwise, you should leave the field and go away. Leave it to us. We shall prove that the world is an abode of perfect happiness. Vishwang Purna Sukhayate. Hare Krishna. This is the intro. Oh no, it's not actually the introduction. It's the first chapter of Search for Sri Krishna. And Munindra Mohan also pointed out when we've read this so many times, both ourselves in our reading, but in the temple we've read it so many times. Always new and fresh and invigorating. So this is Mahaprabhu. So yes, and Kali Kadamba pointed out, and she gave her thanks. Very good question for us all. All right, and here in Italy, we have something maybe none of you have. That is a clock connected to the internet. It tells exactly the right time. So to the second, I didn't know things were made, but we are very thankful for some things of material progress. However, still in Italy, or in the back to basics, the clock goes very fast. So we need to continue our days here. Who is the Pujari this morning? Madhurnand with the head Pujari. Okay. So anyhow, we're going to continue our morning here. And for you, some of you it is morning, we know. Some of you it is evening or even early morning. 9 minutes past midnight in Brazil, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Amazing that you make that austerity. Be with us from Brazil, and that's all appreciated. And I was just going to say, and poor Dana, she was so much hoping for the association of Kali Kadamba and Abhinava Sundar. But American Airlines, not maybe the American Airlines, but whatever happened in America, which caused so much confusion, unfortunately didn't allow that situation to happen. So Dana, you're still in separation physically from the devotees, but know you've got the good wishes of everyone.
Maharaj, she promised to come.
Huh?
She promised us to come to Thailand, and there she can have association of Abhinava Sundar and Kelly Kadam.
So I love you guys. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, looking forward to seeing you in Thailand when you made a promise, and there we All right, so dear devotees, we all better continue. And yes, I mean, we're here with Rupa Nuga Prabhu, and we'll give a little encouragement for one or two of the places that we've mentioned today, where he and we all can refer to see the nature of Mahaprabhu and who is Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So, beautiful topic. Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakha Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. And Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Bhaga ki Jai. Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. All the present day Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda ki Jai. All the assembled Vaishnavas ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. Vancha Kalpatarubhyas cha. Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo. Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. And Ganga Leela Devi Dasi clapping. She must be chanting the names of Gauranga and Nityananda.
Jai Srila Bhaktiranjan Madhusudana Maharaj ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. A voice from somewhere. All right. Our obeisances and appreciation to each of you. May Gauranga's lotus feet be on your head. Remember Gauranga, and difficult things become easy. Forget him, and even easy things become difficult. All right, this is a verse by the grace of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Please continue happily. Many thanks to everybody, and jais to Paramananda Prabhu, to all of our speakers, Abhinava Sundar, Kelly Kadamba, and Seva Rupa's contribution, Rupa Nuga Prabhu, Munindra Mohan Prabhu. And Priya Sundari from Brazil, she's there with us. We saw her early, also midnight, my goodness, yes. Dandavat to each of you. Jai Gurudev, Jai Guru Maharaj. Amra Ashti. Hari Bol, Hari Bol.